Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Today's beer comes from Evil Twin, and you guys that follow me know what the deal is with Evil Twin beers and me. This is their Biscotti, Imperial Biscotti Bourbon Maple Syrup Barrel Aged. When I went to rate Beer Advocate, the only one that they had listed for the Biscotti Bragg Maple Bourbon Barrel Aged was their chocolate hazelnut, and that's not this version. Same ABV at 11.5%, but they didn't have the regular without the chocolate hazelnut listed on their site. He makes so many beers, or they do, Jeppy, Evil Twin. Some of them are very close, very similar. So once he finds something he likes, he may tweak it with putting some bacon in it or doing something like that. I could not find this beer, and I'm sure it's probably there. Somebody will post me a link saying, oh, here it is. Well, I don't jump through hoops, guys. I type it in, then I go to the site, and I go down, and I look at all the beers for this name. And the only one I found that had Imperial Biscotti Bragg Maple Bourbon Barrel Age was the one done with the chocolate hazelnut, which is not this one. So, couldn't find it. Untapped did have it, and they have 11.5% maple syrup barrel aged, just what this one has on the label. This was sent to me by my brother Rico, and he writes 11.5% Imperial Porter. Untapped has it listed as a stout. On the bottom it says Imperial Porter aged in bourbon barrel with maple syrup barrels. Flavored maple syrup barrels. So it is considered a porter, I guess. Untapped has it listed as a stout. And of course, we have the wrong information here from Beer Advocates. They have the chocolate hazelnut version listed, and they also listed it as a stout too. The brewers can call it whatever. They can call it a stout. They can call it a porter, imperial stout, imperial porter. Usually the porters have a little lighter. They're not pitch black, guys. Not always. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. It all depends on what the brewer wants to call it. So, he says this is their variant of the Imperial Biscotti Bragg aged in bourbon flavored maple syrup barrels. And he said he picked it up last month, and this bottle was $23.99. $24. To me, that's a little outrageous. Rico, I appreciate you spending your hard-earned money on it, brother. I would never pay this much money for a beer from these guys. There are plenty of other beers out there that cost a lot less, but you got to realize it's a bourbon barrel aged version of it. It's a 22-ounce bomber, but I think it's a little pricey. I do. But they make these style of beers. They do an excellent job at it, guys. And that's why he does a lot of different variations of these type of beers, because they're pretty good at doing these type of beers. So, but I don't think I would come off with $24 for a bottle of beer from these guys. Even though it's probably going to be very tasty, probably going to be a great beer, that's very pricey. A little too pricey for my pocketbook. So, let's get on with this and see what it brings to the table. Since Beer Advocate doesn't have the correct listing, or I could not find it, they have the chocolate hazelnut version listed. We're not going to get into the food pairings or anything like that on this particular beer. We're going to speed it up, guys. Glassware today is going to be my favorite glass, which is the Sovereign beer glass, the tulip glass. So, into the glass we go. Let's stand it up, see if we can get some head generated on this. Doesn't look like it's going to be that impressive on the head. Sometimes he does overcarbonated beer, sometimes he does undercarbonated beers. That's why I have a problem with that, brother. Just barely covering the top of the beer. Over into the light, there is none, guys. It's pitch black. It looks like a stout to me, not a porter. To the nose we go. Rich roasted malt. Big time bittersweet chocolate notes. A little bit of booziness in there at 11.5%. Hints of some caramel toffee, maybe even some black molasses. Probably going to be some dark fruit characteristics once it warms up to room temperature. It smells very, very pleasant, guys. I will say that. Like I said, these guys do a very, very good job at these 11.5, 12% Imperial Porters, Imperial Stouts. They've got that recipe figured out. Smells delicious. Final beer of the evening for me. Let's dive in, see what we got. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Rico, my brother. That is absolutely delicious, guys. I can't fault him on that. He does these style of beers very damn well. And that's why he does so many different versions. Once he finds something that is tasty, the biscotti break was good. The maple syrup now is good. They make a chocolate hazelnut. He's taking that same recipe and he's throwing a little bit something different, tweaking it just one way or the other to throw a little different twist on it or sell more beer. Basically, that's what he's doing. He's doing it to sell more beer, guys. Bottom line. That's what they're in the business to do. So, smells very, very nice, guys. Wonderful aroma. It does have a strong bourbon barrel notes. The aroma is absolutely outstanding, guys. I will not lie to you. Very nice sweetness to go with that beer. It is an awesome beer, guys, right now. I cannot fault him on it, even though I don't like the man anymore. We had a little problem a while back, and I don't buy his beers anymore. So Rico and some of the others still send them to me, and I will review them, but I will not purchase them. Even though he does some really good stuff, he's an ass. So, and I can be just as big as ass sometimes. So, we're butting heads. So, the guys that follow me know what has happened, and the guys that don't know, you'll have to figure that out. I'm not going to go into it right now. But anyway, very tasty beer. So let's let it warm up, pour her a glass, sip on it for a while, and might step out on the deck and fire up that cigar to go with it. Yeah, that's a hot tip, especially on this style of beer. It goes very well with a cigar. So I'll be right back and we'll figure out where it's going to end up. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little left here. Been sitting on about 30 minutes or so. Very nice beer, guys. This is very, very well made beer. Don't know if it justifies the $24 bottle price tag. I think you could find probably just as good a beer for $5, maybe even $10 less. But you got to realize bourbon barrel aged beers cost a lot of money. Those barrels sitting in the brewery, taking up space for however long they decide to keep it in those barrels, makes the beer more expensive. Plus you're brewing a 11.5%er on top of that. It takes more malt, more hops, and they're doing maple syrup barrels. All that adds cost to the beer. So not sure I would fork out that much money, so I do appreciate Rico doing that and sending it to me to review. He is a great friend. I call him my brother all the time. He's one in a million as far as I'm concerned. He sends me beers all the time, and by the time you see this beer review, I do have another beer mail package. I'm doing this on the 20th of September, and I've got another beer mail package coming from him tomorrow on the 21st. So by the time you see this, I will have had another beer mail package from him. So awesome guy. I can't thank him enough for all the wonderful beers that he spends his hard-earned money on and ships them to me for me to review. I mean, I do consider him my brother. I really do, and I mean that sincerely, Rico. can't wait for you to come back down and spend some more time with this guy. All right, let's get on with the beer here. Very nice beer, guys. It's an exceptionally well-made beer. Jeppy at Evil Twin does some really tasty beers when they do these Imperial Porters, Imperial Stouts, whatever they want to call them, especially the bourbon barrel-aged versions of it. Absolutely outstanding, guys. I can't fault him for that. And I judge it accordingly. I mean, I'm not going to pull any punches, even though me and him have some differences in opinion on things. He does a great beer in this style. Final chug. Absolutely freaking delicious, guys. It's got such a nice sweetness, nice bittersweet chocolate, roasted malt, caramel toffee, black molasses. Maybe he has some sweet dark fruits, maybe some dates or plums or something like that in there. I don't think he got a date on this particular bottle. I don't see it. It's not standing out to me. But he does a very, very well job. His beers are kind of pricey, like I said, though. But you pay for what you get. This is an outstanding beer. 9 out of 10 for me on this one, guys. So I'm going to give this a 98. Over to Beer Advocate. They don't have the right beer list. They got the bacon version, and this is not that. So they're out of the picture on this one. I could not find it. It may be there somewhere. I did all I was going to do to find this beer on that site. So over to Untapped, they have this thing listed at 4.36, which is in their A category also. Not the best numbers I've seen, but it is in their A category, and that's what I agree. It is an A beer. If it had a bottle on date or a vintage on it somewhere, I may consider giving it another notch or two. But it is a very, very well made beer. So thumbs up to the guys there at Evil Twin that's doing this, and Jeppy, you know what you're doing on these darker beers like this. So if you have this one, the Imperial Biscotti Bourbon Maple Syrup Barrel Aged version. Very, very tasty, guys. You already pick it up if you got deep pockets. Not a cheap beer to buy, but it is a very, very tasty beer. Enough to share with some friends, your significant other half, girlfriend, wife, close friends. You know, pour a little bit for everybody. I'm sure they will enjoy it if they're into the darker beers, the bourbon barrel aged versions. So I enjoyed this. It was a great final beer of the evening for me. So if you've had this one, let me know what you think, guys. Until we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.